touching work, it just sucks so much of my energy. What I'm talking about is the onboarding paperwork I got to send in San Diego and here, and things are coming together. We're going to start work here, and then some weeks are going to go by, and we're going to get back to San Diego and pick up some money here, go back there. But that's, and there's all this stuff you have to do. So we got to be on top of contingency plans to have other jobs too. But as soon as I start touching work, you think about it, that's 8 hours. It just sucks my energy. I got to be knocking on doors saying, give me your house, give me your extra houses. And it's an unconscionable argument, but unfortunately, because medication to tolerate our own, so we can be around people that are disabled and heebie-jeebie like us and not put together what we want to put together, and because we have to be trust fund babies, we have to have rental income coming in from all these houses, all these fourplexes, all these apartment buildings, so we can pay actors and actresses. Like I said, we don't get the bros because we're heebie-jeebie. We don't get the bros. The Marine Corps, where they have these balls and they're dressed up in their very few are very proud, and they're in there. You see all this kind of stuff, and they have it. San Diego. Anyway, so. You see this kind of stuff. We don't get the bros, but okay. So we got to go for the women, like poor Jeffrey. That was his thing with Jeffrey Epstein. But okay, we're gonna go for women, and we're gonna have them help us, and that's good. So we get the men out of the way. But even then, like I was talking to these people at a bus stop there, and this is Flamingo, and this is what is it, Twain or is it, Eastern, Flamingo and Eastern. Hello, stuff I should know. Carl's Jr. 7-Eleven. This is where Century 21, Martinez and Associates. It used to be Americana here at this building here. Anyway, and there's a Catholic church over there. Ted Federwitz supposedly used to go. It's down the road. That way it used to be. Key Realty at the Renaissance Plaza. Now they've got Mariana's grocery store. I love those Mexican. But you go to you walk right into the border towns. You can get that for pesos on the dollar. But these confections, the Mexicans, they put. You go to Cardenas or Mariana's, the Mexicans, they put a thin layer of icing on a cake, but there's nothing like it. It's a little dried up, but it's something that is uniquely Mexican. That said, I like white people, and I'm going to be going to a place. I just thought about it. That's another thing with real estate. You don't want to redline. You don't want to blockbust. You don't want to panic pedal. The Mexicans are coming. You don't want to get in trouble like that. But you like what you like, and I'm worried that the place that I've kind of looked up to go do a little bit of door knocking, 30 minutes, I just have to do it, is just too Mexican. They won't understand it. Look, in my dreams I'm white, in my dreams I'm attractive, in my dreams I'm a jeans model with a very nice penis, erect, kind of half erect against the denim, no shirt. I've got six-pack, I've got incredible pectorals, I've got incredible muscles. Women are just watering into their panties looking at me on a magazine. So that's why we have to hire these actors and actresses. Okay, we don't get the bros, that's fine, we get what we get, but we got to be able to at least afford actresses. And because I'm going to link to a video in here where I talk about, in fact, this was from Oceanside some weeks back, talking about what about these elite women that are Marine Corps in Pendleton. I wonder if any of these, and that these people might be, if we could pay them enough money to be my 5 women that service me and bathe me and get in a jacuzzi with me, and I want them to be very strong. They have some short women in the military, especially Marine Corps, and they make sure they pack a punch, but I want kind of Amazonian ones, even if they're not 6'1", 6'2", very strong, because I want to be able to fight them. And oh, Mike Tyson here. Okay, well, they might get me to a point where I can bite the ear off one of these guys that are trying to defend their honor and protect them from me, but they're gonna have to get me to that point. So do that complete 360. And some guys there like, why are you trying to talk to these beautiful white women? And I just I've got him on the ground, and he's lucky I don't have a Swiss Army knife on me, because he'd be bleeding out and his windpipe eaten into by a very, very sharp blade in my Swiss Army knife. But if you're strong enough. So we'll see. Then I'll report back on it. It might not be too Mexican, but if they're white, they'd understand it. If they're Mexican, they'd be repulsed by it. So I'm thinking all these arguments, all these sells to make to give me their extra houses. And if they're Mexican, it doesn't mean they don't have extra houses. There's a lot of them. You look San Diego, they end up buying the manufactured home or even the stick-built home in like El Cajon or up, like Spring Street even, where they're doing a lot of development about now. We put out Western Metros tonight, and we're going to talk about that too. All these, the queue's getting a lot bigger, but I want to put that out, Western Metros. So we're going to do every now and then I have it to where it's not just a script that I put out, but it's the whole panelists. It's AI generates voices, and it's still, you can kind of tell it's computer generated, but you know where are the white areas, right? That you go there and they really understand. Like, they take one look at you, you should never look in a mirror. But that's kind of the rationale of psychiatry. Also, you should never know what you sound like. You should never know how awkward you sound. You should never know anything like that. And I don't think so, because you can't necessarily overcompensate to try to change that if you don't. And I really do believe I would have been so much more like Joe Moore in everything I do. Like, I could actually Broadway, like I was talking about, develop range to develop control. And Brooke, Baldwin, CNN, breaking into later in life, Broadway performer, and they all have in common, they have a singing voice, you know. And I think it definitely is you can develop it, but it takes a lot of practice. And you know, the singing voice also goes to your performance voice as a voice artist or someone reading a speech. You know, but that's something that they would understand. If you were in a wealthy white community, you should never see in a mirror. But because you are right that psychiatry, so that it basically shielded you through this haze from the mirror that you kind of can't help but have, because everybody that you interact with, what their skin color is, what their socioeconomic status is, what their education level is, where they live, how many planes they've been on, how many friends they have, how many connections they have, how many rich people they've met, and how rich their family is, all of that stuff, and the power they have, and the places they can go, and the shoulders they rub at elite real estate owner mixers, Manhattan loft, $30 million kind of thing. All of that is a mirror. You know, it's its own kind of mirror, but psychiatry doesn't do anything about that. And it's made my penis the size of a pencil eraser, so you're gonna have to hook me up with enough rental income so I can hire these actresses. And I'm gonna link to that video, because it's a really, really difficult thing. Even though I talk slow and methodical and weird, what happens is, and this is why, if you're not paying them money to treat you the way you want to be treated, like you're in a very attractive male model, that with the penis half erect in the jeans, just them, and they're oozing in their panties with sweat wetting up their cervixes to have your penis inside to do the impregnating, the eugenic impregnating. If you're not paying them to act that way so you can enjoy your life and be having dinner with them and all this kind of stuff, then what happens is, because you're talking slower, it changes the outcome of if you hook up with them or not. And it can mean that, it does mean the difference, not can mean the difference, it does mean the difference between a wedding day and being completely TPO'd from an entire community. And you know, it's just the speed at which you're able to do it, because genius done slowly means nothing. We live in a civilized society. These women know it. Genius done slowly, you still die. You still get eaten by the tiger. So in any event, we're gonna have to see what happens. But if the white people would understand it more, so they'd kind of understand, okay, you know what, I'm gonna have to give you my extra fourplex in Arizona, because I totally get it. And you know what psychiatry did to you, no one should have their penis shrunk because of it, because the whole point is your penis.